Mamo, and I was born as a stateless person, which is apátrida in Portuguese and in Spanish. Most of the people, they don't know really what means a stateless person or how a stateless person becomes stateless. So any human being, when you're born, you can get your nationality through two ways, or ius sanguinis or ius solis. So anyone who's born in Brazil or the United States, anyone who's born in Brazil is Brazilian. Anyone who's born in the United States is American, is United States nationality. They don't really care about the bloodline of your parents. Most of the countries are not like this. Like most of the European countries, if you're born there, you don't get the nationality. You get the nationality depending of the laws that they have, depending of your mom, your dad, and the bloodline. So anyone who's born in Italy is not Italian, but anyone whose parents are Italian, he can get the Italian nationality. My two parents are Syrian, so logically I should be Syrian. But when they fall in love in Syria, they knew, as my mom is Muslim and my father is Christian, the interreligious marriage in Syria is illegal. So they cannot get married, they cannot have a family in Syria. They decided to run away and go to Lebanon. Lebanon is a small country next to Syria that they decided to start a new life there. They get married. Their marriage, logically, is illegal and they cannot register it because they were not legally married and they cannot register it because they are from different religions. So, tres novos apátridas, three new stateless people. My sister, me, and my brother. So, to make it easy for you guys, today I'm 33 years old. I'm the one in the middle. As a kid, all this, you're a kid, you don't really know what stateless mean, if I have nationality, if I don't have nationality. But believe me, the first challenge started when I was a kid, when I was just 2.5 years old, was in school. How are you going to study if you don't have documents? How are you going to go to school if you don't have documents? So my mom started asking for favors for many, many, many schools. Hey, I have those kids. They don't have nationality, but they need to study. Many refused us. Only one Armenian school, they accepted us. So you can see me, I'm the cutest one in front here, which I have the same uniform, the same teacher, the same education like anyone else. As a kid, I didn't really realize what does it mean to not have document. Then when you start to grow up in the teenager age, me, Saad, and Eddie, my brother and my sister, we started to feel it really deeply, how is to be a person without identity, without existence. My first issue was in university. How are you going to go to university if you don't have documents? I wanted to be a doctor. That was one of my dreams. But then that university didn't accept me. I had to go to many others until asking favor and doing the same path as my mom did. Until one university that they didn't have medicine, but they had business and computer. That's how I chose my degree. I did management information system, which is business computer, and I graduated in master's degree in the same university. How to go to the hospital if you don't have documents? I have an allergy, and every time it attacks me, I should run to the hospital. And every time I used to go to the hospital, my best friend Nicole, the one that she's with me in this photo, she used to present her own documents with a little bit of money and tell them, hey, please accept her because she doesn't have documents. And then Nicole had a dog. Her dog had a vaccination card. And me, my sister, and my brother, as stateless people, we didn't have a vaccination card. We didn't have the right for all the vaccines because as people, we didn't exist. And then imagine driving a car. The nearest I got to driving car was in the park. I used to play basketball. I'm not that tall, and Val knows I'm short, but I'm so fast. And I was recruited to play with a professional basketball team. I couldn't join them because I didn't have documents. And from the simple things in life, from buying a SIM card, having a bank account, going to a party just once you want to go and have a drink with your friends to celebrate your birthday or something, and then the security gonna ask you, where are your documents? How old are you? How they gonna get you in? Imagine this. In Lebanon, we started having a lot of bombs and a lot of explosions, and we started having a lot of checkpoints, and everyone is suspicious. How do you know who's the terrorist and who's not? So, our biggest fear was while walking on the street, seeing all those checkpoints, we had to run to the other way, not because we had drugs on us or we were terrorists, because our biggest fear was if the police stop us, we're gonna go to jail. And they will release us only if we present documents, which we don't have. So at this point, you can see that we were a lovely family, that obviously we love red. Me, my sister, my brother, my mom, and my dad. We were a happy family, but we had a big missing point, which is our existence as a human being and our documents. Since I was 16 until I got to the 26, I started searching and searching and searching for solutions. I started questioning my existence and who am I and where do I belong and what's my country and why I cannot get my nationality in Lebanon, neither in Syria, neither in nowhere. I started searching for solutions. The only country from the entire world that accepted me and proudly saying was Brazil. The only country that really told me you're welcome was Brazil. In 2014, Brazil, they opened the door for the Syrian refugees. So it's sad to say this, but the war that happened in Syria was our way out from Lebanon. They gave me a document which is laissez-passer, just to travel from Lebanon and come to Brazil. But what do I know about Brazil? What does my sister and brother know about Brazil? The only thing we know is the football team, Carnaval. I didn't even know that they speak Portuguese. I used to think they speak Spanish. I know no one, and the insecurity that exists in the Latin America was the biggest thing that we know about. Then I had to search on Facebook. I found a family, a very simple family, in Minas Gerais, which is a state. It's not São Paulo, it's not Rio, it's Minas Gerais. The family, they said, you are more than welcome to join us. They gave us a room, actually the first floor of their house. They started asking people from the church. They got us some bed, some closet, some small basic things to start our life. When we get there, we didn't really know Portuguese. We didn't speak Portuguese. So my first job with a master's degree and four languages, I came to Brazil speaking English, French, Arabic, and Armenian, was distributing journals on the street because I couldn't find a job opportunity better than this. That was okay for me because I knew I came to Brazil for a bigger dream. I wanted to exist as a human being. So here you can see some of the documents that I started having. This is my work permit. This is passaporte para estrangeiro. In June 2016, we were accepted as refugees in Brazil. And here I want just to come back a little bit. I thought Brazil was ready to accept us as a human being, right? I thought that Brazil gonna give us nationality, but the reality was different. The reality was the only way for us to survive in Brazil was to ask for refugee status. So our dream, me, my sister, and my brother, was to be accepted as refugees because this will give us the basic document. For 5 years, I can stay in Brazil with no fear, and I can start apply for my work permit and for my driving license for some basic documents and start achieving a dream one after another. So at that point, if you see us, we were three adults, not more teenager, the happiest people ever in the world. because we believe that we started our new life. That's okay. For now, Brazil is not ready to give us nationality. They have time. We have time. We can wait 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and one day we're going to get our nationality. But life is cruel. Life is never, ever the way we plan it. On 30 June 2016, I lost my brother in a robbery at a gunpoint. They stopped him. They were trying to steal him. The only thing they stole from him was his life. With one bullet, my brother died as a stateless person. We were able to give him the minimum dignity of a human being, which is the death certificate, because he was accepted as refugee in Brazil. Because stateless people, you come to this earth with no birth certificate, you live your life as a shadow, and you die with no death certificate. He was 2 years younger than me. That's when I decided that our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. That's when I decided, this is a quote, I quote Martin Luther King Jr., that for me, I don't want to die a stateless person. I don't want to die with no nationality and without realizing all my dreams and everything I came to this earth to do and to exist. That's when I knew in 2014 when we first came to Brazil that the UNHCR, the United Nations of Human Rights, they launched a campaign. The campaign name was I belong. The campaign said that in the world, the estimated number of stateless people is 10 million stateless people. I used to think it was only me, my sister, and my brother. And the reality is that we're 10 million people in the world that no one speaks about, no one shares their stories, no one raises awareness. That's when I decided I want to be the voice of those voiceless people. I want to be the voice for those 10 million stateless people that no one speaks about. I did a lot of documentaries, a lot of interviews. I was on a lot of participated in many events, and I got many videos that they were seen more than 1 million times, and imagine how many people this reached. I participated in more than 26 countries now, just updating the numbers in many events of the UN, the United Nations, UNHCR, other UN organs as well, that they started inviting me to participate on all those events. All those events are volunteer. I participated knowing that I want to contribute on changing something bigger than me. I didn't choose to be born stateless. I didn't choose my mom. I didn't choose my dad. I didn't choose to be born in Lebanon. The only choice I made in this life is to never give up. Because for me, statelessness is not a political issue. It's not a religious issue. It's a humanitarian question that could be solved through political goodwill, people, and goodwill, let's say, it's a political question that could be used and solved through humanitarian point of view. So imagine if my mom could give me the nationality, because today we still have in the entire world 24 countries where a woman cannot pass her nationality to her kids. So if my mom, as Syrian, she was able to give me the Syrian nationality, then maybe I was still living in Lebanon. Maybe my brother was still alive, and maybe our life was different than what it is. On May 2017, Brazil law was approved. A new immigration law, federal law 13445 2017, has one chapter speaking about statelessness. First, they recognize you as stateless person. Second, you have a lot of capable people in the government that they work and they prepare and they recognize you. It's not just, hey, I'm stateless. Can you recognize me as stateless person? No, they need to study the law of Lebanon, of Syria, from where you came, and if you're really stateless or no. And then they facilitate your naturalization. So it was never a privilege. It was never given like, hey, come today, you're Brazilian. No, there's a process, there is a mechanism to do that. And now, knowing Brazil, knowing all the stories, knowing how governments work and the laws, do you think I got my Brazilian nationality or not yet? I'm gonna be easy with you. On 4th of October 2018, me and my sister Saad were the first ever in the history of Brazil to get the Brazilian nationality as a stateless people. So yeah, today I'm naturalized. I'm proudly Brazilian, and today I already met my best friend, Kate Blanchett. I'm joking. What I do is to raise awareness and to let whatever happened in Brazil try to be an example to the entire world, because I believe that everyone has the right to belong and we need to have zero stateless people in order to have a better future and a better life. So, thank you so much. And let me get back to the meeting.
Thank you, Maha. Wow, that was a very clear and powerful presentation. We thank you for everything that you've been talking about. Of course, in our group, we studied the topic of statelessness, and we've also known a little bit about you. We've seen your TED Talks and other international activities and campaigns that you are doing and you did in the past. So we know about your activism, we can say,
And
for
sorry,
the
Val, you had
people.
to listen to the story once again.
Cada vez que te escucho me emociono, así que celebro
Oh,
haberlo escuchado
gracias.
otra vez. Sí, sí, muy
Muchas
bueno,
gracias.
muy bueno.
Yeah, sorry, Agustina.
Sí.
It just, she heard
Es
me
un
like, I don't
placer
know how
volver a
many times.
escucharte.
Gracias.
Yes, well, I agree. At least, speaking from my point of view now, Guille and Natalia can also say what they think. It's very inspirational, and not only for us, but for the people who will luckily see this interview in YouTube whenever it's posted, and they will know about you and they will hear what statelessness means for people. Luckily, you now are Brazilian, so your life has changed. But well, for those people that perhaps don't know what statelessness means, this I believe is a good point of start. Yes, they can start from here and then, of course, engage in international activism, at least knowing what it means and participating. Guille, I don't know if you want to now ask some of the questions. My other question was about the difficulties that stateless people go through, but you've explained it very, very clearly in your presentation, so I am not going to go back to that. So, Guille, if you want, you can continue.
Yes, well, one of the things that we wanted to know was whether you had any idea about the existence of international instruments that grant protection to stateless people at the time before you started your activism. So did you know about the 1954 or 1961 convention, or do you think that stateless people don't really know about that protection?
Well, no. When I was in Lebanon, this was not something that I was aware of and I didn't know about. And actually, I didn't even know that my status is stateless. I didn't even know that this word exists, me, myself. Imagine I was living statelessness, but I didn't know that this has a definition. When I started contacting the embassies worldwide, when I started asking for help from everyone and anyone, any country that could help me, the United States came back to me and told me, actually, you're stateless. So that was the first time I heard about the word and I started studying about the word. So obviously I went to the internet, I put stateless and I started searching for the institute, for organization, for NGOs, anyone that could help me understand more and how I can solve my issue. I contacted many of them and all of them were like, hey, no, we just study statelessness. We don't know how to solve it. Hey, we can't do anything. I even approached the UNHCR in Lebanon and they were like, oh, we're sorry, but we can't help you. There is nothing we can do. So obviously I didn't know about the conventions. I knew the word at that time. And then on 2015 was my first course of statelessness I did in Curacao with the UNHCR. I was invited to share my story there. That's when I knew that we have two conventions. And since then, we're today, 2021, I can clearly see and understand what are those conventions, how they are applicable, and how those, let's say, countries that they signed those conventions, they have no obligation on applying no laws, that there is a big process that should happen. It's not something easy. And today what I do is I try to raise awareness. I try to let the people that they are in the same condition as me know that they are not alone. And your situation is statelessness. You're stateless person. But worldwide, there are so few organizations, NGOs, whatever, that they work directly with stateless people. Because stateless, refugee, displaced, we have a lot of terms, right? And many times the word statelessness is not on the spot. No one speaks about.
Thank you very much for the answer. We also wanted to ask you about any current projects that you're working on. So apart from the Algodon campaign that you talked about a little, maybe you could specify it a bit, but also you published a book recently. So how was that experience?
Yeah, actually, where is it? Wait, I'm gonna show it to you. Okay, so, well, everyone who knows me and who met me from since Lebanon, they tell me, "Oh my God, your story needs to be in a book. Your story gonna be in a book." And then it took me a lot of time to really choose a good person to be able to write it with me. And I did a selection of people until I selected one specific person. His name is Darcio Oliveira, and he's a journalist as well, and he's a writer. So it was so difficult for us to find an editor to publish the book. So the book industry, as you guys know, it's not that good industry, let's say, between brackets. Like, I'm not gonna be rich because I have a book, but I know that many people that they're gonna read this book and they will understand more and more what's statelessness. So nothing more better than do this book in Portuguese to thank the Brazilians and thank them a lot. We publish it with Editora Globo, which is worldwide editor, and they can send this book to worldwide anywhere in the world. For now, it's Portuguese. Currently, I'm trying to find another editor, another people that they help us in translating the book, because I don't want to translate it word to word. I know both languages, I can translate it, but this is not the goal. The goal is to have the same spirit of the book. And it's not easy. I'm not finding no editors. And I found some and they were like, okay, you can pay, translate, and then give us the book, we can publish it. And for now, I'm not willing to do that. I don't have to invest in this. It will be the right time that I will translate it. I'm looking forward to translate it in English and Spanish. For me, those are mainly the two languages that I would love to have my book in those languages for now. And My other projects in parallel is I'm trying to build a community of people. So anyone who's interested in joining my community is more than welcome. I did a small test, let's say a month ago. We did an online camp, which was helping. I put some people together. We did an online camp for 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, you were able to have a project for more than 60 pages of all the actions that an NGO in Nepal, which is the other way around of the world, this NGO, they work with human trafficking. I was like, okay, but statelessness and human trafficking, how they are related? They are so related. Many people, they are sold by their own family without registering them. And once they are rescued from the field, they don't have no one and no family and nothing. They are stateless. They have no documents. And there is this NGO that after rescuing those people, they join them in order to interact and come back to the community and to the world, let's say. So we helped this NGO. It was a temporary camp for 2 weeks. We presented our projects and they are going forward. Now I'm having a new project in process. It's still not like in 2-3 weeks, maybe we're going to start it. We're still planning it. It's about how to build a community, how to have my own community. I want to focus on children, on stateless children, people, to help them to get their nationality somehow. Today, I have one specific case that I'm working, and hopefully we're going to be able to give this child a nationality. He's from Lebanon. Yeah, you're going to know about all in the future if you just follow me on my Instagram, website, everywhere. And if you guys want to be part of this community, you're more than welcome. We're trying to get and gather more and more facilitators and people that they are willing to invest their time and help, because I get a lot this question, how we can help. So my call to action is, once we build this community of people that they are, each one of them are, specialized in many different things, how we can be coming all together, what we can do and how we can change the world positively. So this is my volunteer part of the job. I'm still with the United Nations. I don't work with the United Nations. I just, whenever they invite me, I participate. I got an invitation now with the UNHCR Chile. So they invited me to facilitate a workshop for them. So I'll be doing that. And it depends, like they can invite me now, for tomorrow, for after tomorrow. You have to be ready. And on the other part, my professional and career part, I work as motivational speaker. So the speech that I did with you, I share it with private companies. It's a little bit different because I adapted depending on each company what they need. If they need to speak about change, they need to speak about problems, they need to speak about how to overcome your problem, how superação. It depends. So I've been to Facebook, Unilever, Google. I've been in many big companies sharing my story and adapting with what they need, the mindset. And especially now with the coronavirus and everything we're living, many people, they felt like, many people that they heard my story, they came to me and they told me, now I can feel a little bit what stateless person mean, because I cannot travel, I cannot go anywhere, I have to stay in one specific space, and I can feel that, how a little bit of what you felt. So yeah, that's what I do today. I'm a motivational speaker, and I work as well as help desk technician to pay my bills, because activism, we don't need to speak about it for now.
Well, thank you. And I think maybe Aus has some closing questions. So.
Yes, well, thank you, Maha. Again, you've been hinting us a little bit information about what you've been saying of the sense of community and how we can help to yes, how we can contribute individually and as regards states as well to eradicate this problem. And when we think of the world plan to end statelessness, I think it's by 2024, if I'm not wrong, then we are like 3 years away from that specific date. And the last question we wanted to ask you was, what do you think is missing? What do you think it could have been done better to reach that goal, to achieve such goal? And then what's missing? Like you have already said the thing about community, but what other specific actions do you think we can do as a whole, yes, to eradicate statelessness?
For me, what's missing is commitment. What's missing is action. What's missing is people really committed and people really want to raise awareness and help and having the goodwill to do that. Many countries, they don't even know that they have stateless people in their own country. Many people, they don't even know, even having stateless people, they think that they are terrorists. They are the stigma that we have, the mindset that we have about stateless people. This should be broken. This should be changed. So the support of all the people that they are trying to raise awareness, that they are trying to change, this is missing. And prioritize, because always we're going to have something more important than statelessness. Always we're going to have something more urgent than statelessness. We never take it as an urgent, like, let's take it, let's solve it now and let's do something. It's always missing. In 2018, we had more than 100 pledges of many countries that they promised they're going to change, they're going to do something. And I'm sure many of them, they already started, many of them, they are doing something. But yeah, the commitment, the action, for me at least, that's how I see it. That's missing.
Yes, well, definitely. We are trying to contribute, at least spreading the word and trying to raise awareness and giving our knowledge and what we can do and what we can study to our community and the university, and then spreading the word again with other universities and other people we can reach with our work in the CSU. And well, this interview, of course, is a great contribution as well. And we thank you once more. From my part, it's done. I don't know, Gisha, if you have anything else to say, and then of course Valeria and Natalia will give their closing remarks.
No, in my case, I also wanted to thank you. You've covered everything that we were going to ask you, and I think it's going to be really, really valuable for people that are going to watch this interview, your insights on the topic, to have a first-hand experience. So I also just wanted to thank you once again.
Thank you.